Hi everyone, Jerry here. Well, I want to tell you which is the best way to see French Polynesia. Now, again, with 33 trips there, we've done it pretty much every way you possibly can. We've done it staying on one island for a week, and that was fun too. We've stayed at Club Meds, which are no longer open there. We've been at overwater bungalows at nice resorts, and that was fun too. We've done it every which way. We've been to 10 different islands in French Polynesia. But I'm going to tell you the way that I absolutely prefer, that I feel is the best bang for the buck, and that you will see the most of French Polynesia, is by cruise ship. And I've done 5 different types of cruise ships in French Polynesia. I have my favorites, which I will share with you here. But the main thing here is a lot of the islands in French Polynesia, let's say the island of Fakarava, there's only 806 people that live on there. And so if you're on a cruise ship and it has 2,500 or more passengers on it, obviously this island doesn't have the infrastructure to allow a lot of people to get excursions and things like that. So the best way to see French Polynesia, if you're going to do it by cruise ship, is to do it on a smaller ship. Now there's 3 ships in French Polynesia that are there full time. That is the Paul Gauguin, that is the Star Breeze, which is a Windstar ship, and the Aranui 5. Now, they range from 250 to 330 passengers, but the point is they're all very small ships. They all have their specialties. Some areas, some ships are better than others, which I will go through here in a little bit. But the main thing is to make sure you're sticking with a cruise line. Again, there's only 3 that's full time in French Polynesia. Again, the Paul Gauguin, the Star Breeze, and the Aranui 5. Now, they all specialize on a little bit of different things. The one that would give you the most immersion in the culture of French Polynesia would likely be the Aranui 5. It is a half cruise ship, half freighter experience, and it goes out to the outer islands, especially the islands up in the Marquesas. It also goes down to the Estrelles and a few other islands. But the point is, it's going to some islands with not much population. So when the ship comes in, and it may only go there every 6 months, the entire island, which may only be 300 or 400 people, come out. And it's like a festive occasion on the beach. You know, they're having a barbecue there, the emu oven in the ground with the pig. You get the point. You come in and they're having this festive time on the beach, and you get to join in. It's like a very intimate thing, but now you're being immersed into that Polynesian culture in no other way that's possible than doing it in one of the outer islands where they don't get a lot of tourists, obviously. The next island would be, the next ship that I would recommend would be the Paul Gauguin. The Paul Gauguin is 330 passengers, 5-star line, great food, great service. I've been on that ship 16 times, and they know me well, I know it well. And good Polynesian vibe. They have a lot of Polynesian ambassadors on board for entertainment and to give you hints and for you to talk to at the dinner table and things like that. The Paul Gauguin does this quite well. It's a little bit more vanilla as far as the islands it visits, primarily the Society Islands, going out to the Tuamotus of Fakarava and Rangiroa, and then up to the Marquesas. It occasionally goes towards the Cook Islands and over to Fiji, but for the most part, we're talking about French Polynesia here. The Paul Gauguin does a fine job. It is owned by a French company called Pinot, and again, I love this ship. It does it very well. The other one would be the Star Breeze. Star Breeze is 310 passengers. It's a little bit more cosmopolitan than the Paul Gauguin. This company, Windstar, has 3 of these ships here, and they're all sister ships. They all are identical, and they wanted to make sure no matter where you go in the world, if you're going to go on a Windstar ship, like you're one of their loyalty passengers, that every ship is identical. So the restaurants are the same, the food's similar, The crew are excellent. The cabins are identical. There's no difference. And so it doesn't quite have that onboard Polynesian vibe than, let's say, two of the other ships do, but a fine ship. Large cabins, 277 square feet for a standard cabin, which is very, very large, especially in the South Pacific and so forth. And it's again, a little bit more vanilla as far as the islands that it goes to. The Society Islands, the Tuamotus, and the Marquesas. And those are the three that I recommend to experience French Polynesia on a small ship. It is the only way to really feel like you're getting the most out of French Polynesia. You do it on a big ship, you are not going to have that particular vibe, especially now too, some ships, they only come from the west coast of California, heading, let's say, for Australia, and they'll stop at a couple of ports in French Polynesia. Sometimes they have as many as 5,000 passengers on board. You are not going to experience French Polynesia the way it really is designed, or the way you should be seeing it. Again, small ships. If you're going to do land-based, I would stick with no more than 2 islands at a time. Sometimes people, they try to go see 3 or 4 or 5 islands in a matter of a week or 10 days. It's just too many islands. I would stick with 2 islands. And the 2 islands most people pick on are Moorea and Bora Bora, usually as a combo. And spend 3 nights on one, 4 nights on the other, and come back and so forth. A great way to do it. Let me go back to the ships here again a little bit, because one thing I want to interject here. When you go by ship, you're going to visit typically a half a dozen islands. You can't do that very easily when you're going to go land-based. You can, but it's really hard to do in a week to 10 days. But by ship, easy to do 6 islands, and you're going to get exposed to a lot of different islands that are way different in their topography, the way they look, how vibrant they are, how the waterfalls are, if they're touristy. You get the idea here. They're all very different. And what I tell people is, when you're going there and experiencing these different islands, wait until one of the islands sort of calls you and says, come on back, come back to me. And that's an island that maybe the next trip, maybe you will go spend a week on an island and then do another 7 days on a cruise, or a 10 days on a cruise, or a 3-day pre-cruise, which a lot of people do, and then do a 10-day cruise. That's that happens a lot with a lot of people that are returnees. Now you're going to go, what do you mean? This is my trip of a lifetime going there. Well, why do you think I've been back 33 times? You get the Tahitian flu. That's right. And there is no cure for it. The only way you get to hold off the symptoms of it is a return trip to paradise. And so a lot of people think this is a one and done type of thing. They go over there and they are just so taken back by the beauty and the loveliness of the Polynesian people that they go, we got to come back. We got to come back. And so many people return time after time after time. And a lot of them, again, do it simply by doing a 3-day pre-cruise and then doing a week or a 10, 11-day cruise on one of the cruise ships. I like doing it that way as well. So you're going to see a lot more of the variations of Polynesia by cruise ship. Now back to land-based. Land-based, again, expense too. I'm going to point this here. You may spend, let's say, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a cruise. But if you're going to go to Bora Bora, let's say for a week or even 10 days, and you're going to stay in an overwater bungalow or something like that, you're going to spend much more than that. Not counting even the food. When you're on a cruise ship, a lot of the cruise ships, the food's included, obviously, the entertainment. Sometimes the bar tab is included, the Wi-Fi is included, depending a little bit of packaging and which cruise line it is and so forth. But the point is, it's less expensive when you're figuring it out to actually do this by cruise ship. You fly from the west coast to California typically, or Seattle, because there are some direct flights out of San Francisco and Seattle and Los Angeles, and you go there. Actually, there's one out of Hawaii too, out of Oahu. And so you come on, typically from the west coast of California, you come into Faha International on the island of Tahiti, and then from there you hop a cruise ship. The cruise ships are virtually about 2 to 3 miles away from the airport, and you have a ball. And when you go home, the same thing. It's very simple to go back over to Faha International. So hopefully that gives you a little oversight. I've done, again, 5 different ships in French Polynesia. My favorite are the local ones that are there full time in French Polynesia. They know the islands. The ones that are coming through for a season, or especially from the West Coast to Australia, they don't have that same Polynesian vibe that you're going to get in these.